The American high school system is broken and failing us. There, I said it. My name is Alyssa Van Dyke, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about how high school isn't what it used to be. Like everyone here, I went to high school. I didn't attend college in a traditional sense, meaning I didn't go to college right after high school and earn my college degree. Instead, I went into banking, first as a teller, then as a lead teller, eventually as a loan officer, and now I'm a senior loan documentation specialist. A position a bachelor's degree would have made me eligible for without needing 10 years of professional experience. We've all been told the path to success: high school, then college, then a good job at the end of the road. At the age of 18, not everyone is geared towards college, but that doesn't mean you should have to work 10 years in a field to be considered equal. High school is filled with classes you'll never use again, and high school is more set on teaching non-musical people choir and band, rather than teaching you to do your taxes, or even better, a profitable skill that can allow you to get a good, in-demand job straight out of high school. So is the American high school education system broken? No, it's just not evolving at the pace we need it to be in an ever-changing world. Instead of the traditional high school experience, there needs to be a route to learn valuable skills to good, high-paying careers the moment you graduate. In 2019, there were 15.3 million high school students, 2/3 of whom think college is the only path to success and a brighter future, despite not having any drive, desire, or tools to do 2 or 4 more years of classes, when in reality there are several jobs in demand that don't require further education, rather knowing a skill. Now, I mentioned roughly 2/3 of students who plan on attending college after high school, but I didn't mention that of 10 million students, 40% of them would drop out of college with no degree, no valuable skill learned, and more than likely some student loan debt. In fact, the average college dropout usually leaves school with over $13,000 in student loan debt, with no high-paying job in sight and no valuable skill to fall back on. This fact alone is putting millions of Americans behind the 8 ball in their life, causing their life to be put on hold, or even causing effects that could span not just their life, but have an effect on their children's lives and their upbringing. The problem extends beyond the individual student. The economy as a whole suffers from a vast shortage of skilled laborers. According to Business Wire, in March of 2021 alone, there was a drastic increase in demand for skilled workers. For plumber apprentices, job postings have increased by 24% in the previous month, and jobs are sitting unfilled for an average of 29 days. That goes the same for roofer apprentices at 50% unfilled for 39 days, carpenter helpers 12% unfilled for 28 days, carpentry apprentices 33% unfilled for 31 days, construction workers 17% unfilled for 27 days, and electrician helpers 15% also unfilled for 27 days. These are good jobs too. The national minimum wage is $7.25. The median hourly wage for helper level skilled trade jobs is $16 an hour. That's more than double minimum wage at an entry-level skilled job. We all know this guy, right? It probably wouldn't shock you that he doesn't have a college degree, but maybe you never thought of it. This would mean his job doesn't require a college degree. In fact, nuclear power reactor operators don't require a college degree, and the median salary is roughly $100,000 a year. So what is causing this problem? It's because the American high school system hasn't evolved in the times. According to Spencer Vilwalk, interim CEO of Independent Electrical Contractors, a national trade association, we aren't exposing people to these opportunities, and the funding model in public schools supports college or bust. Public schools since the 1950s drastically reduced funding to skill-based classes and pushed for every student to strive for college, despite the individual skill set. Long gone are the glory days of learning hands-on skills in shop class, learning to build a car from the bottom up, and gone are the days of flying off with the girl of your dreams as your buddies cheered. I say it as a joke, but when was the last time you heard anyone being in shop class and learning to work on cars or skills? So what has this college for everyone approach done for the average high school student who doesn't want to go to college but thinks it's the only way to get a decent job? Not only is it producing an escalated dropout rate, and not to mention dropouts with student loans, but it postpones their life by close to a decade. According to Bill Irwin, Executive Director of Carpenters International Training Fund, right now the average age of a carpentry apprentice is 27, he says. The ideal age is 19. That is close to a decade an employee can't get back to advance their career. Just another victim or casualty in the failing American high school system. The famous quote from Pete Seeger says, "The first step in solving a problem is admitting there's a problem to be solved." I think we can all now admit there's a problem in the traditional American high school system. There is a better way, and there can be a solution. Yes, trade schools exist, and even high schools like VTech offer vocational training and work towards a head start with junior colleges. Most schools like this cost money, and not 100% of them are accessible to the public. Plus, the student misses out on the typical American high school experience. So what can we do? The solution is create 2 pathways in high school. By junior year, you should have a pretty good understanding if college and higher education is for you, if you're more geared to hands-on learning and have a desire to learn a trade of value. The 2 pathways would allow more freedom in electives. If you rather learn how to be an electrician apprentice, for example, you can skip the fine arts requirement, skip the PE requirements, skip all of those countless classes that are not core academics. It would also allow you to still graduate with a traditional diploma while learning a skill that gives you a certificate of training and makes you able to be hired the day after high school graduation. Speaking in 2015, Michelle Obama talks about the current condition of the American high school system and states, "In today's world, a high school diploma just isn't enough. I can't say that enough. A high school diploma isn't enough." Michelle has been a leading advocate CTE programs, career and technical education programs that provide exactly what I'm proposing. Massachusetts seems to be leading the way into incorporating vocational training and CTE. In fact, so much so, according to the Salem News, there's a waiting list to get into their public schools that offer it. Those waiting lists would disappear if CTE and vocational training just became the norm, and we bring back the classes we began cutting in the 50s and instead enhance them. An unintended benefit from this plan is it makes a college degree more valuable. It's been said a bachelor's degree is what a high school diploma used to be. But by allowing skill-based education in high school, it will narrow the field of those with degrees, thereby making them more valuable. It's a win-win regardless of which of the 2 paths a student takes. So to wrap this all up, is the American high school system broken? No, it's just not evolving at the same rate the world is changing. Countless good-paying jobs are going unfilled because no one is educated or given vocational training. This lack of training leads to countless people into a college they don't have any interest in. Later drop out with student debt and wasted years they can't get back. This system also damages the global economy as skilled labor becomes less and less available. But the good news is there's a solution. Having a 2-path high school allows those who seek higher education the chance to do just that, as it always has been. But it also values and teaches skill for good-paying jobs for people who rather work right after high school. And even better, it appears Massachusetts is leading the way, a way I hope the nation follows. So while a future electrician is 17 years old and sitting in study hall, a master electrician doesn't have his apprentice. While a future mechanic is singing off key in choir, a head mechanic doesn't have an apprentice either. And while a future nuclear reactor operator is running laps in PE, we put our trust in Homer Simpson.